Hey guys, Mike with Jeeps on the Run. Welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to be installing the new Jeep high performance wiper blades. They're more than just blades. Traditionally, ever since the Wrangler, as far as I can remember, was born, these washer fluid sprayers have always come from the hood, spraying up onto the windshield. Now they've got a performance wiper blade and system, you could call it, which will have the wiper fluid come out of the blade itself on the windshield rather than spraying up onto the windshield. We got these from Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram in Fox Lake, and we're gonna install them. I'm gonna go into this blind so this can be a true installation. So let's jump in and see what happens. So we're gonna unbox this. Imagine these are gonna be our blades. Jeep branded there, we got one, obviously two. I've actually come to think of it, I think it comes with an extra set of blades. There's another set of blades in here, and then we've got some hoses and what looks to be maybe an instruction manual. So we've got some hoses and some zip ties. I'm making a mess here, some clips. So we got two hoses, longer hose. We've got some clips here. So this isn't much of an instruction. It says it's easy, go to and scan here. So I'm gonna scan here and I'm gonna read these real quick and we're gonna jump right in. So the first thing we wanna do is remove the wiper blades. Ultimately this panel here is going to come off. So there's some plastic clips, caps here, and these are a 15 millimeter nut. You can go ahead and pull that off. Now I'm gonna tell you something that if you've got a newer vehicle, this is going to be easier than an older vehicle. They do make a windshield wiper removal tool. If you don't have a tool, you didn't hear this from me, but a small trick would be to leave this nut on. Leave it on a couple threads, but leave it loose. As you pull out on the wiper blade, you can hit the nut carefully with a hammer, and it will shock the bolt, and it will loosen the blade, because the blade sits on a spline taper shaft. So as you tighten this down, it becomes difficult. This Jeep is pretty new, so I didn't have that issue. But if you do not have the tool, again, leaving the nut on so you don't mushroom the threads, you can shock it, hit it with a hammer real quick after it's loose. So I'm gonna pull the other side off. The next step is going to be to remove this panel. I am going to grab a panel tool and we're going to take this off. So if you're not familiar with these are Matco ones, but you can get Harbor Freight ones. These are just plastic panel tools, as not to scratch the paint or break any of the tabs. So you're just going to walk yourself around. After you get so far, you probably can just use your hands. If you haven't ever noticed, there's an Easter egg there. There's your flip-flops. So now that you've got that off, you can see all the wiper arms, the transmission, the motor, everything there. So we're gonna open the hood and we're gonna pull apart the factory lines. Now I guess we're gonna need that tool again. You're gonna need to take down your fireproof pad here. Again, these tools become handy as not breaking the clips and getting them out in one piece very easily. If you can get behind it, that's even better. All right, so I actually decided to put the clips back in. I'm just going to leave this factory hose here. I'm gonna tie it off, just in the event I ever want to go back to the old traditional style wipers. I'm not going to have to readjust anything. It's not going to hurt anything by leaving the hose there. This hose connects right here, and there is a clip. And what you do is you squeeze the outside of the clip to make the oval more of a circle, and the clip will open up. Now, this is the clip that the new wiper blade comes with, but you'll notice it's quite a bit smaller than the factory one here. So I'm not sure why the difference is, but what I ended up doing is I pulled this factory one out of this hose and I put it onto the new hose to clip it in. So I ended up using my OEM one instead of this one that the kit came with, because the kit one, it does not fit. So we're gonna go ahead and clip this in. You hear it click, and then we're gonna route this up front under the panel we took off earlier. So we're gonna route this right under here. This specific Jeep is a 4xe, so I got a bigger cable here. You probably won't have that if you're not on a 4xe. Sorry. And we're gonna route it right underneath this this cover right here, right into this compartment right here. And what these will do is one is going to go down to the passenger side, and one is going to stay right here on the driver's side. And we'll zip tie those in, and we'll be good to go. So now I've got the wiper blades. You're going to take off these blades. This is the factory one, just like you would if you were changing wiper blades, and you're going to go ahead and put your new one on. I should mention, you know, people are talking about, oh, this is going to be an expensive wiper blade replacement. The areas, the holes that the fluid comes out of is not on the actual blade itself. So when you go to replace the blade, you're just going to be replacing blades again, not a whole $100 and some kit. So that's the thing. Oh, it's going to be expensive blade repair. Well, it's not. It's just a new blade there. And you got a little inlet there for your hose. So you're going to put these clips on, kind of spread them open. They go around the hose like so. And then what you're going to do is if you pull it, you spread them open and slide them down. There's this ridge inside the wiper arm. That's where it's going to clip onto. And then you can work it up the arm as you pull the hose out. It'll only go up so far, about there. And then you're going to repeat with the second one. When you're done, you should have something that looks about like that. Route your cables, your hoses, I should say. You want both of the ones with the braided leads going out to the wiper blades. I had it backwards at first, and the one was just slightly short enough. Having said that, as we discussed earlier, you still do need to replace that fitting on the one under the hood with the factory one. But you want your two braided leads to be the ones that are leading out underneath the wiper arms. So we've got them dangling there. We're going to go ahead. I'm going to zip tie them right here to this line, and then we're going to bring them up into the blades. And what we're going to do, we're going to pull these out and float them up here. We'll do the same on this side without losing that one over there. Go ahead and snap down your panel. So now we are going to attach the wiper blade. There's a little plug here. You can dispose of that. You can hear it click. And now what you want to do is kind of find that spot on your windshield where your line was. So get them straight. Go ahead and push them on. We'll do the same on the other side, and then we'll go back and tighten them up. We're going to make our connection. You'll hear them click. Sit them on there, you're gonna find your line. Again, this piece here is splined. So as soon as you put your nut back on there, it will tighten up and it will find on that line. Now the instructions that they give you, they have you routing it up the top here. You can probably tuck it in a little better, and I'm gonna clean it up. It's not the prettiest. I may end up routing it on the bottom. I don't know yet. I'm gonna do a little trial and error and see, but we're gonna go ahead and tighten these up and we'll see what happens. So we'll go ahead and tighten this up. Don't need to go over tight. It's a spline shaft again, so put your cap back on. We'll get that one right there. Nice and snug. Put your cap back on. We're gonna give it a try, then we're gonna try and route these wires, or I keep calling them wires, hoses a little better. We'll see what happens, but here, let's see what happens. From the inside, it seems like it gets a nice wide coverage of the window, really much better. It seems to have a little more pressure, obviously, but just due to the small amount of holes that are there. So stay tuned. We'll get this thing dirty, and we'll see what the real world application is with them. But so far, I'm impressed. From the outside, short of these hoses, which I'm going to deal with a little more, the only real difference you'll notice is the wiper arms or blades say Jeep. And the kit does come with a second set of blades. Again, keep in mind when you go to replace the blades, you're not replacing the whole kit again. I see a lot of talk online that says, oh, every time I got to replace my blades, it's $140 or whatever you pay for these. That's not the case. You're just replacing the wiper blade itself like you normally would. The arm and all the functional cables obviously still stay there. So again, as always, thanks to Ray Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram for hooking us up on these awesome parts. And stay tuned for some real world application on how these perform. But so far, so good. Thanks, guys. So on this side, you can see I routed the cable underneath the arm, unlike the instructions said, which I don't see any adverse effects. But I think overall, it kind of hides, and I'll still probably fool with this and tuck this cable in a little better, but it still kind of hides the cable in the black area of this wiper connection versus this side, which everything kind of floats on the top. So I'm gonna do the same over here. The only thing I did was disconnect it and ran it to the bottom and reconnected it around the bottom side of the wiper blade. So again, overall I think it's pretty impressive. Thumbs up for the kit. They do make this for the JK or the JL and the JT, which is the Gladiator, and it will be available for you JKU guys soon. So if it's anything like this kit, I would go ahead and give it a purchase.